U.S. and Philippine officials are preparing to hold their first cyber digital policy dialogue next month as the allies seek to deepen cooperation on cybersecurity and the digital economy. CNA got insights from Ivan John Eoy, Philippines Secretary of the Department of Information and Communications Technology, on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Dalian, China.
We are going to meet in Washington, D.C. for our first Philippine-U.S. cyber dialogue. And this is first of its kind. And we are going to look at what are the challenges that we face and how we can address it bilaterally. Whether we're talking about providing better protection of our critical infrastructure to building safer cyberspace for our citizens, as well as upgrading the skill sets for our digital workforce.
Mr. Oy also spoke of concerns over China-based cyber attacks. Some analysts have recently warned that China could use offshore casinos, also known as POGOs, as Trojan horses for surprise attacks on the Philippines in case of a conflict. Mr. Oy wouldn't confirm the threat but said that concerns mount as authorities continue investigations and raids.
We have busted a lot of scamming syndicates, and what we've observed is that many of them are operating under the guise of POGOs. So they apply for a legitimate license and then have a facade that it's operating, or perhaps they're actually operating as a POGO, online gaming. But they occupy a whole building, but certain floors are not dedicated for gambling operations. They're doing scam operations. They're doing phishing operations. So we've traced them and we've taken many of them down. So these are quite challenging, mainly because many of them operate from a legitimate license facade, and so we have to be more astute in our cyber operations in tracking down these activities.
We also asked Mr. Oy about the Philippines' stance on TikTok. While the U.S. is threatening to ban the social media platform, Manila says regulation is key to addressing any possible espionage concerns. And the Secretary adds that there is no basis for a TikTok ban unless there is clear evidence the app is compromised.
It has to be evidence-based. It cannot be based on rumors, based on perceptions that are not grounded on solid evidence. So that's, we fully understand the business models of these kinds of platforms. And if you're talking about social media platforms, you're talking about streaming services or e-commerce platforms, they all use the same model. They gather data, they analyze your data, and then they customize whatever is your preferences based on those data that's gathered. And that's the business model. Now, so we cannot, I think, isolate one particular platform and say that, we want to ban you because you're using this, but everybody else that's using the same thing is okay. So unless there is a clear showing that the platform is compromised, that it is used for nefarious purposes, then we have to look into that before we make a decision on whether it should be a platform that should be restricted or not.